Making spaghetti and meatballs can be a very easy task. It can also be a very daunting task. But the best thing you can do is go into it with confidence and get your ingredients together and be prepared. So the first thing you want to do is gather your ingredients. You're going to want a jar of spaghetti sauce. I like to use the Prego Heart Smart spaghetti sauce because it's good for you and it's not as heavy and acid as some other brands. You're also going to need some frozen meatballs. You might like seasoned or unseasoned, whichever is to your preference. You're also going to need spaghetti noodles. You can get some that are already broken in half, or you can get some regular ones that are about a foot long. You also will need olive oil and water. So, the first thing you're going to want to do, and you're also going to need a frozen box of garlic bread. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is get a large pot and fill it up with water and put it on the stove on a high heat setting. This is going to be the water that you're going to cook your noodles in. You're going to boil the noodles in there. So first you have to wait for the water to boil. So while that's boiling on your high heat setting, you can start to saute your meatballs. So you're going to saute your meatballs in a skillet on another burner on your stove on a medium to high setting and with your olive oil and your frozen meatballs. And you'll saute your meatballs until they have a brown outer edge. And then once they do, you can turn the heat down to a low to medium setting, and then you can add your sauce. You may not need to add the entire jar. It really just depends on how many people you're feeding and how large your skillet is. You can judge at your own discretion. And so just keep mixing the sauce and, check on it, let it cook down, simmer down. You can turn it down to a lower heat, a simmer and low heat. And so leave that, and by then your water should be boiling and you can add your spaghetti noodles. And I like to also add olive oil, just a little bit of olive oil to the boiling water to keep the noodles from sticking together. Before you put the noodles in the water, you can break them in half if you got the longer ones. If you want smaller noodles, which is easier to eat, but some people like the longer noodles as well. It's to your preference. And put your noodles in the water, and you can turn the water down to a medium so it's a lower boil so it's not as rapid and doesn't spill all over the stove. After this, you can let your noodles boil, and while that's cooking, your sauce can still simmer and you can prepare your garlic bread. So get a cookie sheet and preheat the oven to whatever temperature it asks for, which I guess you probably should have preheated the oven first. My apologies. And the garlic bread will come in a box and it's already in slices, and you just take the frozen slices and put it on a cookie sheet, slide it right in the oven, and while that cooks, by the time you have that all prepared, your noodles will probably be cooked and you can strain them in the strainer. I like to rinse my noodles because they're going to have a bunch of olive oil. And then you can mix your noodles and your sauce in the large pot. And then your garlic bread will probably be finished. You might have to wait a couple more minutes, take your garlic bread out, let your garlic bread cool a little bit, and you have spaghetti and meatballs and garlic bread ready for dinner. So I hope this step-by-step tutorial works for you in your spaghetti and meatballs evening. Thank you.